All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Quant Gaming, talking about Raid Shadow Legends, a roleplay fantasy game that I've just gotten into. What I want to do is break down this game into multiple segments since there is so much content in this game. It's all understandable when you first start, but it's all there. Maybe it's not as organized as it could be. My goal is just to take down all of these introductory segments and then provide, hopefully, simplistic guides on how to understand and navigate through the organization of the game. And this video is going to be about the character breakdowns. All right, Raid has over 400 different characters that you are able to summon. I'm going to go to their organization system, which I think is very good. It's located on the bottom of the screen, next to between the champion and clan button. I'm gonna pull my S Pen out here. Maybe, yeah, there's a little circle there. It's called index. Click on the index. Now, as you can see, there are what are called factions, and each one has its own individual banner, and each faction has multiple characters in them. Right now, there are a total of that's 4, 8, 12, 13 factions, and possibly 3 more that are going to be developed. So this game is still moving in a forward direction, and a lot more content is going to be created in the future. Now, just an overview of a faction. I'll click on the first one. They're called Banner Lords. Multiple characters are listed in the Banner Lord faction. And as you can see, starting at the top, there's a heading called Legendary. I'm going to kind of highlight that with my little S Pen here. And these are legendary characters. So there's multiple legendary characters. These are the rarest in each faction, and in fact, the rarest in the game. The next level of characters are called epics. They're also very rare. Next one are called rares, and of course, they are rare too. Then you have uncommon and common characters. Now, the uncommon and common characters, in my opinion, you can summon them rather equally, perhaps. I'll get into that in another video, but I just want to show the breakdown. So each faction has legendary, epic, rare, uncommon, and common characters. There are a few factions that I think might be newer that do not have common characters, and let me X out of here and go to one of those. I do believe it is the Ogren tribes. Yeah, there's no common characters, but they do have uncommon. So clearly not as many as they had in the Banner Lords. But let's just take a look at a legendary character. What they do is in a legendary character is going to be similar. You have essentially a 360-degree ability to look, zoom in, zoom out, and on the right-hand side, they have skills. Skills are what this enemy brings to your particular champion collection and what they can bring into battles. So this character has 1, 2, 3 different skills, and the legendary ones have much more powerful skills than the epics, and the epics have much more powerful skills than the rares, and the rares have much more powerful skills than the uncommon, and the uncommon have much more powerful skills than the common. Now, I might be exaggerating by saying much more, but generally speaking, they have more to offer. There are some exceptions in the game, but this is just a generalization. And in addition to the skills, some characters have another item called an aura, which provides an additional benefit to certain companions or allies in your battle. So this character, Ignatius, has increased the defense in all battles by 25%. And that defense, of course, is one of the stats that are also located in the skills bar. With the other stats, there's hit point, attack, defense, speed, critical rate, critical damage, resist, and accuracy. Just taking a look at this random character's stats, click on the info, and there's a breakdown on what it all means. So HP is hit points. Pretty self-explanatory. Attack is how much damage a champion can do. Defense is how well they can defend the attacks. Speed is how quickly that champion is going to be able to attack. Critical rate is how often that character will land powerful hits as opposed to their regular hits. Critical damage is the multiplier in which those critical rate hits increase the damage. Resist is debuff resistance. Now, debuff is something that one of your champions will be able to cast upon another character to reduce their strength or abilities to inflict damage upon you. And there's also debuff accuracy, which is how likely you're able to land that debuff on a character. Now, many characters, you have to have high accuracy, and you're going to be attacking someone that has resistance, and then it comes a battle of, is your accuracy better than their resistance? So you want to build up both of those for all your characters so you can resist debuffs as well as land debuffs, depending on whether you're on offense or defense. All right, so those are the basic skills that characters have. I'm going to X out of there. Go back, kind of take a look at the layout again. Legendary, epic, rare, uncommon, and common characters. And then maybe I can close that. There we go. And just go ahead and look at all 13 factions that they have of 400 characters. When you first start the game, you have an option of choosing 4 characters, and I'll quickly go over them. You can have Elhain, and she is from the High Elves, from the Sacred Order. You can have Aethel from the Orcs. You can have Gaelic, wherever he is. Oh, see, I don't have him, so he is dimmed out on his portrait. I didn't mention that. Those that you have collected, whether you have them or not currently, those that you have ever collected, their portraits become lightened so you can see your inventory. And the final one that you can choose, and the one that is really regarded as probably the best one to have out of all of them, is Kale, and he is the starter that I have. So you get to choose one of these characters. I highly recommend, if you're going to start this game, to choose Kale. There's other ways in which you can get characters too other than the starters. Again, if you do start this game, choose Kale. It seems to be the most highly regarded one that can carry you through the game the longest and the furthest. They're all very good, don't get me wrong, but Kale seems to be the one to be most recommended. Now, in addition to starters, you're able to summon additional champions through something called a portal. You need shards to summon these characters, and there's 4 different types of shards: mystery, ancient, void, and sacred. Starting with the top, these are the most common shards that you're going to receive in the game, and then ancient, void, and sacred becoming less common throughout the game. Now, with a mystery shard, I'll just summon one. This is what happens. It cracks open, and boom, you receive something. So I received an uncommon character, which I'm going to turn into food, and I'll get into that in another video. But that's the portal. There's also ancient, which I'm not going to pull right now because they are rather rare. Void shards. I'm going to be pulling a lot of these later because, as you can see, it's a 2-time chances special event right now that Plarium is offering. And then sacred. I'm certainly not going to pull that one right now. I'll be waiting for the future. In addition to using the shards to receive characters, you can also receive characters just by doing campaigns. So I'll just show an example of that. Pick a random campaign map. You'll see on the left-hand side, there's a couple of items called miscellaneous drops, and it's not often that you get a character instead of what would be a normal prize for winning the battle, but it happens often enough, and you can receive, you see a 3-star rare highlighted in blue, another 3-star rare highlighted in blue, and then some uncommon characters. Now, you're not going to receive anything from a drop higher than a rare, and you will receive uncommons and common characters and drops depending on which level of the campaign you're on. So that's another method to receive characters. The next one that you're able to do is through free rewards. Now, free rewards, that is generally going to be part of something called your daily login rewards. As you can see, at 30 days, you receive a character called High Khatun. At 60 days, one called Yaga the Insatiable. At 90 days, Dark Aethel. And there are additional daily login rewards beyond this up to 180 days. And every 30 days, you're going to receive an additional character. I just don't have access to that since I'm still working on my introductory 90 days at this point. And I do believe, and this is true, when you first start, there have 1 week rewards for a total of 2 weeks in a row. And I think at the end of those 1 weeks, you also receive an epic character, which will help you greatly getting through a lot of the very early portions of the game. Another way to receive characters is through something called a battle pass. Now, this is going to be available to all players. It's for free. And there's an additional option in which you can pay for an enhanced battle pass to receive more characters and more rewards through this battle pass program. My understanding is this is the first season that they've done the battle pass. And from what I can understand, this is my first season playing the game. I've only been playing it for 40 days, but the offers, in addition to the characters that you receive from this battle pass, including all of the rewards and drops, the daily challenges, the weekly challenges, this can either cost $25 or $45. Either way you do it, you're going to have a great return on investment if you choose to purchase something. If you don't, you're still able to get a lot of great rewards from this. But completing these battle pass challenges, you're going to be able to receive a lot of characters that you might not be able to get as often. On the top row, you can receive one of these bears called Ursine Ironside, I believe that one's called. And on the bottom row where you have to pay, that's a legendary for $25. And then you receive, I'm scrolling backwards here, an epic, another epic, which would also be included within that $25 and all these other great prizes. So if you are going to, and then look, another epic. So from what I can tell, from the short period of time I've been playing, this is highly, highly, highly worth. If you're ever going to spend money on a mobile game, this would be a good investment in this game for the value that you're receiving. And then the final method that you're going to be able to get characters are through things called tournaments and events. And on the right-hand side of the screen, there currently is a tournament going on, and I'll wait for it to load up. On the right-hand side, there's a tier system. Oh, I have a reward of 100 energy. That's great. And as you move on up, you can see there's different rewards. This tournament does not have a champion that could be rewarded, but many tournaments do. Just so happens to not be the case. And the events, similar to the tournaments, there's going to be a system in place. So there's an event going on called Dungeon Divers event. Again, unfortunately, this one does not have an offer of a character to be received from receiving these awards, but you can see that there's other rewards that are available. I can go ahead and collect it. If there's a character there, I would have collected that character who would have been part of my champion inventory. So those are the ways that you can collect the characters. All right, I do believe that should wrap up the introductory character breakdowns in Raid Shadow Legends. Just want to summarize, they're organized in factions. You have an option of 4 starters: Aethel, Elhain or Elaine, Gaelic, and Kale. Highly recommend choosing Kale. And there are other methods to receive champions for free or for pay throughout the game. So that will conclude this video. Thanks so much for watching. I did not think it was going to be this long. Click the like button while you're here and subscribe if you would very much. I would appreciate you subscribing to this channel as well. And I would also like to point out really quickly, there is a referral program in the game. I'm going to put this link in the description. If you're interested in potentially playing, we could both earn these highly valuable resources in the game. As long as you're leveling up, we'll both get those. So please consider that, and I will see you in the next video.